Okay, so today is D-Day, June 6, 2024. I'm in Park Lawn Cemetery looking for Wallace Floody. He is, I guess, semi-famous. Famous to a lot of people with regards to the Great Escape, the largest organized escape plan during World War II at Stalag Luft III. He was known as the Tunnel King, and in the 1963 movie starring Steve McQueen, James Garner, and Charles Bronson, Wallace Floody, they called him Wally, he was portrayed by Charles Bronson in the movie. He had background in tunneling prior to the war in Kirkland Lake and Timmins, Ontario, gold mining. So he was instrumental in setting up the tunnel in the Great Escape. Just trying to find the grave. I have a buddy of mine up ahead of me looking for it. And so he was a fighter pilot. He flew Supermarine Spitfires for the RAF, based out of Beacon Hill in the UK. And unfortunately, on his very first combat mission in actually, it was October 27th, 1941. He was shot down in his very first combat mission over German-occupied France, and he became a prisoner of war almost immediately. And he spent the entirety of the war in 2 prisoner of war camps, for sure, and possibly a third. I can't remember. I just finished reading the book. Canadian author wrote an easy read on him, but interesting nonetheless. And I'm just coming up on the grave now. Switch over. And so anyhow, so he spent the duration of the war digging tunnels. There were 3 tunnels at Stalag Luft III, based inside Poland. And if you watch the movie, you'd have an understanding of what I'm saying. But it was very, very dangerous work. And he was, he was the tunnel king, the chief engineer on it. So here's his grave. My buddy Kevin. Some good detective work finding it. And that's a family marker. He's down there on the family marker. It's a unique name, Floody. And I'll clean this up a little bit. Yeah, RCIF. And he survived the war, and he lived until 1989. He was the president of the Prisoner of War Society of Canada for many years, and did a lot of work for that foundation. And yeah, so I thought on D-Day, me and my buddy would come and pay our respects to Clarke Wallace Floody. He's also a member of the British Empire. That was bestowed upon him in 1946 by I think it was King George, I think. But I'll put a flag for him. Lady at the office here at Park Lawn Cemetery, Stephanie, very, very helpful. So if you are looking for a grave marker in here, she would be the one to get a hold of. Very helpful, very pleasant lady. And yeah, I'll leave it at that. If you ever have the pleasure of meeting her, you'll be more fortunate for it, I'll tell you that. What do you think, Kev?
Pretty nice.
Yeah, nice, eh? I brought his book with me, Tunnel King book. It's an easy read. I read it in like 4 or 5 hours. It's a Canadian author. She, I guess her name is Barbara Henner. She's known for children's books, so I guess that's why I found it easy to read. But nonetheless, it's kind of interesting. Yeah, what do you think, huh?
Wally Floody, decorated for his heroism in World War II.
Yeah.
He was the tunnel engineer of the Great Escape.
There you go. It's on his tombstone. I forgot about that. Thanks for pointing that out, Kev. Yeah. Wally Floody was decorated for his heroism in World War II. He was a tunnel engineer of the Great Escape. So this guy has an interesting story. 6'4", tall guy. And he had to work in a 2x2 tunnel that went 200 feet horizontally and 30 feet vertically in sand. And it was he was buried a couple times. Oh, it was He died, I think I don't know how old he was, 71. He was 71 years old, and he had lung problems, and I can almost attest that to, if it wasn't the mines in Kirkland Lake or Timmins, it was definitely from working in that, digging those holes, because they had to use margarine and wicks for lights, and he was inhaling that. So this guy died at 71, and I can almost guarantee you it was attributed to a big part of it to his imprisonment, because they didn't treat him the best, but it wasn't like the Japanese. The Germans were better to foreign aviators. The Luftwaffe was charged with all foreign country aviators. They were the division that had to look after the prisoner of war, so their counterparts. That's how that scumbag Hitler had it set up, a piece of shit that he was. But yeah, so that's going to conclude my tour to Clarke Wallace Floody. Everyone called him Wally. Wally. So if you want to come and pay your respects to Wally or read the book, you can go online and you can get a copy of that book. And if you can't find a copy of that book, I will lend it to you. Have a good day.